Thank you, Chairman Coons, Ranking Member Flake, and other members for the opportunity to testify before you today on this urgent matter. I very much appreciate your interest and your raising the profile of this issue. I've submitted a full written testimony to the committee, and I would ask that it be entered into the record, and I will summarize briefly that testimony here today. We're deeply concerned by the horrific violence across Central African Republic, particularly the increasingly sectarian nature of the attacks on civilians, as you described. We're working closely with the members of the international community to end the violence and restore security to CAR. We have publicly condemned Seleka's seizure of power and his campaign of rape, pillage, and killings. We've also warned that individuals responsible for fueling and engaging in violence and human rights violations will be held accountable. Ambassador Power delivered this message directly to Transitional President Jotodia in a telephone conversation on December 7. On December 5th, the United States co-sponsored UN Security Council Resolution 2127, which establishes an arms embargo, a sanctions committee, and a panel of experts, a commission of inquiry, and an increase in the human rights monitoring capacity of the UN Political Office in CAR. In September, we co-sponsored the UN Human Rights Council resolution creating an independent expert position for CAR. To immediately stem the violence, we strongly supported the UN Security Council's authorization of a one-year Chapter 7 mandate for the African Union-led International Stabilization Force in the Central African Republic, MISCA, and for an expanded French troop presence in support of MISCA. We believe MISCA, working closely with French forces, provide the most immediate mechanism for ending the violence. In addition, we believe MISCA's robust stabilization mandate is what is needed now to confront and disarm the armed groups. To give these forces their best chance of success on the ground, we are providing them equipment, strategic airlift, and pre-deployment training. On November 20, Secretary Kerry announced that the State Department, pending congressional notification, would provide $40 million in assistance to MISCA troop contributors from existing resources. On December 10, the President delegated authority to Secretary Kerry to direct the drawdown of up to $60 million in defense articles and services for existing Department of Defense resources in order to provide immediate military assistance for France, the AU, and countries contributing forces to MISCA. We have already begun utilizing some of this funding to airlift 850 Burundi troops into CAR, and an operation that is scheduled to be completed this week. Because of the dangerous sectarian tension in CAR, we have actively reached out to local radio stations and other media to encourage them to transmit messages from Christians as well as from Muslim religious leaders urging peace and reconciliation. President Obama recorded a statement to the people of CAR on December 9. The message has been translated in French and Sango and broadcast repeatedly on multiple stations throughout CAR. And we've heard from people in CAR that they've appreciated hearing those messages from the President. We're working hard to respond to the most urgent humanitarian needs. In FY 2013, the U.S. provided more than $24 million in humanitarian assistance, with $6.2 million in additional assistance announced in September to assist new CAR refugees in neighboring countries. We continue to insist that the CAR transitional government abide by the N'Djamena Declaration and the interim constitution, which calls for elections to take place no later than February 2015 and specified that members of the transitional government are ineligible to run. We're deeply concerned that the transitional president, Jotodia, has taken steps to consolidate his power by inserting up to 5,000 Seleka fighters into the security forces and by delaying the appointment of independent experts to the National Electoral Authority. Given the grave situation in Central African Republic and the need to see the situation firsthand, I hope to travel there at some point soon. Currently, our special advisor is in CAR. Senator Coons, Ranking Member Flake, members of the committee, let me assure you that we remain deeply engaged at the highest level with the situation in CAR. We are working closely with our international partners to address the crisis, and we look forward to keeping you and other members of the committee informed of our activities, and we look forward to additional support. I'm glad to answer any questions you might have, and I look forward again to briefing you on the situation as we continue to get information.